back. Our guest for the rest of the today's show is a fourth-generation psychic medium, meaning he can communicate with those who have passed over. In his books, Evidence of Eternity and Never Letting Go, he takes the fear out of death and helps us to heal when a loved one has passed away. This is an example of what happened the last time he came to Great Day.
Chesterfields. Was he a smoker?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I don't know what Chesterfield mean, but I keep hearing Chesterfields. I don't know if that was a type of cigar or cigarette that he smoked, but he's talking about Chesterfield. Did he chew tobacco too?
No.
You sure? Because I'm tasting a lot of tobacco in my mouth. Does that make sense with anyone else?
He's a heavy smoker.
He what?
Heavy smoker.
Heavy smoker? Well, I'm getting inundated with tobacco.
All right. Well, please welcome Mark Anthony, otherwise known as the Psychic Lawyer. Good morning.
Good morning, Deborah.
All right. So that was an example of oftentimes people will say, no, that doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. And then when they go home and think about it or look around the house, it becomes evident.
Yes, it does.
All right. So let me tell you what happened since the last time you were here. So Paula is on the phone. Good morning, Paula.
Good morning.
All right. So he kept saying Chesterfield, and it didn't make any sense to you. But when you went home, what did you figure out?
Well, as soon as I walked in, I saw this sign that hangs in a little beauty shop that I have, and it was a Chesterfield advertisement. It's an old antique sign, and it's advertising with William Bendix when he played in the movie Babe Ruth, and he's smoking Chesterfields, and that's what he's advertising. And it's this big sign with, you know, the big package of Chesterfield cigarettes.
Yeah, and he just didn't realize that at the time.
No, I didn't even. I kept thinking Chesterfield. I knew that, you know, I knew all about Chesterfield cigarettes and all that because I'm from that generation, but it didn't dawn on me that sign. And my husband always would sit there in the beauty shop with me, you know, in the mornings and drink coffee. And of course, he's looking right at that sign as he's talking to me because it was right behind me there. And so, you know, we would talk about William Bendix because we used to watch William Bendix on The Life of Raleigh. So, you know, that was kind of in our conversation a lot of times.
Yeah, so there you go. Boom.
Yeah.
Well, Paula, thank you very much for sharing with us.
Thank you, Paula.
Thank you for calling.
All right, so just kind of connecting the dots there. So before you start doing the readings, explain to people what is it you need them to do.
Well, first off, be open to who comes through. A lot of times we want to hear from one particular person. You want to hear from Uncle Bob, and then Aunt Martha shows up. People say, I want to talk to her. Say, well, I'm not a bouncer, okay? And so the spirits on the other side know who they need to get hold of, and they know what message you want to hear. And it's not unusual for people not to immediately recognize the information. As we just saw, I get emails every single day from people I've done readings for, and they're like, no, no, no. And then afterwards, they're like, oh my gosh, once I start thinking about it, because a lot of times people get overwhelmed.
Yeah.
You know, because it's kind of intense, and they're not expecting to hear from these people, particularly when something like that comes through.
Okay.
It's like, you know, Paula and her husband would sit in front of the sign every morning, have coffee, and that was a moment that they had, which he was bringing up. And then when she had the...
Which also kind of validates.
Validates.
Because she didn't realize that was really there, even though she was around it every day.
Exactly. And also she's on the spot on TV. She's nervous, and I get that.
All right. So are you seeing or feeling, or are people coming through right now?
Oh, there's always people coming through.
You never have any me time, do you?
Well, you have to learn to turn this off, because otherwise they are like me. And I realize that everybody here has instructed all of your dead relatives to shove everybody else's relatives out of the way and make a beeline for me, okay? And I get that. Let me see. I'm going to open up to frequency. And if I can, real quick, I want to talk about something. I'm going to be a speaker at the Sedona Spirit Symposium, and this is going to be about understanding spirit communication and the afterlife in terms of 21st century science, because you brought up something very important before, Deborah, when you talk about Albert Einstein, who kind of was one of the fathers of quantum physics, which is based on that all matter and energy, light, you know, material things are all made up of particles that are energetic. And there's a lot of quantum physicists now, we're referring to it as quantum consciousness, that we're on the verge of proving scientifically the existence of a soul. It may not happen this year or next year, but it's going to happen. So we all know energy is neither created nor destroyed, only transferred from one form to another.
Wow.
And that Einstein's theories about light, in fact, recently with the discovery of gravitational waves, probably a big deal here in Houston, I know it was in Florida, where I'm from, is showing that a lot of his theories are coming to light. He said that we're all light beings, and every great teacher from Buddha through Jesus, through Gandhi, through Mother Teresa, through Billy Graham, talk about the light.
Yeah.
And now scientists in Russia and here in the U.S. have found biophotons in our cells. Our cells communicate to each other at light speed using flashes of light to transmit information. So the light that is God and the light that is us are interconnected. So we're seeing that we're on the threshold of a great discovery here.
Yeah, because we all want the science to prove it for us, but what you've done in your readings is you've given people proof through the example that we saw
through the
earlier.
evidence,
Yeah.
right.
So we're going to take a break, and when we come back, okay, dead relatives, be kind, be polite, right? As you said, they're like all trying to push forward. We'll be right back with Mark Anthony.